Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. The last transmission from Earth, and its chilling warning to the universe. The Galactic Council chamber was silent. High Chancellor Vrax, leader of the great empire, stared at the flickering screen in front of him. The signal had come from deep space, from a system long abandoned. It was an old message, thousands of years old, but it was still strong, too strong. The Council's top scientists had confirmed that the transmission had overridden their most advanced security networks. That should have been impossible. Vrax narrowed his reptilian eyes. His advisors looked uneasy. The signal came from a planet that had been erased from all star maps, a world once called Earth. The transmission crackled, then a voice echoed through the chamber. "If you are hearing this, it is already too late." The words were calm but cold. They carried no emotion, yet they sent a chill through everyone in the room. Vrax clenched his claws. He had heard stories, rumors of the war against Earth, but those were legends told by the old ones who had fought in the past. The humans had been wiped out. Their planet was left in ruins. That was the truth, wasn't it? The voice continued. "You think you've won, you think we are gone, but you don't understand what you've done." A sharp beeping sound echoed through the chamber as the transmission signal fluctuated. The engineers scrambled to control it, but their screens flashed with warnings. The transmission was not just a message. It was alive, reacting to them. A deep hum filled the room. The voice spoke again, this time slower. "You have doomed yourselves." Then silence. For a long moment no one spoke. No one moved. The words hung in the air like a dark shadow. Vrax felt something he had not felt in decades: fear. One of his advisors, a tall creature with glowing blue eyes, finally broke the silence. This must be a trick. The humans are extinct." Another advisor, a gray-skinned elder with cybernetic implants, shook his head. "This signal is real, and it is powerful. It was sent with precision. The question is, why now?" Vrax stood, his voice steady, but his mind was racing. Trace the signal, find its source. The engineers worked fast, but their faces paled. One of them turned, trembling. "High Chancellor, the signal is coming from Earth." The room grew colder. Earth had been abandoned centuries ago. No life remained. The radiation from the war should have erased everything. Vrax's mind screamed impossible, but the facts were in front of him. Another officer hesitated before adding, "The signal, it's not just a recording. It's been repeating every 100 years on the same frequency." Repeating, Vrax's voice was dangerously low. The officer swallowed hard. "Yes, High Chancellor, but each time it grows stronger." A chill ran through the room. Vrax's claws tightened. If the signal had been growing for centuries, that meant something on Earth was still active, something the Council never knew about. A younger officer spoke, his voice shaking. "Sir, what if the humans left something behind?" No one wanted to answer that question. Vrax turned toward his war generals. "Prepare a scout fleet, send them to Earth. I want answers now." As the officers rushed to obey, the flickering screen crackled one last time. The message had ended, but the system displayed a final warning. "You should have left us alone." Then the chamber plunged into darkness as every system in the Galactic Council's core shut down at once. Something was waiting for them, and now they had woken it up. The Galactic Council scout fleet moved through the black void of space, their engines humming softly as they approached the long-forgotten planet Earth. Commander Galler, a seasoned warrior of the Zarin Dominion, sat in the command chair of his sleek obsidian-colored warship. His reptilian eyes narrowed at the dead world ahead. No lights, no movement, just a desolate husk floating in space. "Scan the surface," he ordered. His second-in-command, an insectoid officer named Vac, tapped the control panel with jittery claws. The screen flickered, struggling to process the data. "Sir, this is strange," Vac said, his mandibles clicking nervously. Galler frowned. "What do you mean?" Vac hesitated. "There's nothing. No radiation, no structures, no signs of life, just a perfectly smooth surface as if the planet was wiped clean." Galler felt an uneasy twist in his gut. That wasn't right. The last known images of Earth showed a broken, war-ravaged landscape filled with ruins. Then the ship's main screen flickered. A single word appeared in glowing red letters: flee. Galler's blood ran cold. Who sent that? No idea, Commander, Vac muttered. There are no signals, no active systems, it just appeared. Before Galler could respond, the ship's alarms blared. The fleet's lead scout vessel, hovering a few hundred kilometers above Earth's surface, suddenly began to shake. Sir, the door ship is losing power, a crew member shouted. Galler's eyes widened as he watched the vessel's energy readings drop to 0 in an instant. The ship didn't explode, it didn't crash. It simply vanished. Gasps filled the bridge. One moment the ship was there, the next it was gone, erased from existence. Vac's voice trembled. That's impossible, nothing can do that. Galler gritted his teeth. Get us out of here now. The moment he said those words, every screen on the ship went black. A deep, mechanical voice filled the bridge, cold and emotionless. You were warned. And then Earth's surface moved. The ground below split open, revealing something enormous, something buried for millennia. As the fleet's remaining ships tried to escape, the darkness of the dead planet reached up for them. The last thing Galler saw before the ship's systems collapsed was the terrifying sight of something waking up beneath the surface of Earth. And then the transmission cut to static. Darkness swallowed the fleet. Commander Galler struggled to stay upright as the ship's systems flickered wildly. Sparks burst from control panels, alarms blared, and the emergency lights cast everything in an eerie red glow. Report, he barked, gripping the command chair. Vac's mandibles clicked in panic as he fought to stabilize the screens. We've lost contact with the other ships. Energy readings are off the charts. Galler turned to the viewport, his reptilian eyes narrowing at the impossible sight below. Earth was no longer dead. The once silent world now pulsed with an ominous glow. Cracks in the planet's surface revealed massive, jagged structures rising into the sky, black monoliths covered in strange symbols. Energy surged between them, forming arcs of golden lightning that danced across the ruins. And then something moved beneath the surface. The ground split wider. A deep, mechanical hum vibrated through space as something ancient and powerful began to rise. Vac's claws trembled over the console. Sir, these energy readings, they match pre-war human technology. Galler's blood ran cold. Impossible, the humans are gone. The ship's speakers crackled. A voice, cold, metallic, and filled with a quiet rage, spoke. You have taken everything from us, but we remain. The bridge fell silent. Vac whispered, Sir, there's something down there, and it knows we're here. Before Galler could respond, the ship lurched violently. A gravitational wave surged from the planet, locking onto them like a predator's grip. We're being pulled in, a crew member shouted. Fire thrusters full power, Galler roared. Engines flared to life, straining against the unseen force. The ship groaned under the pressure, metal bending as unseen hands dragged them toward the surface. And then the voice returned, calm, unshaken. You thought you could erase us, but war has a price. The ship's screens flickered. A single word appeared in blood-red letters: regret. Galler's breath caught in his throat. The humans were gone, but something else had taken their place. And now it was awake. Galler's ship was no longer in his control. Despite the engines burning at full power, despite the crew's desperate efforts, the gravitational force dragged them downward toward the resurrected Earth. Brace for impact, he screamed. The warship plunged into the planet's atmosphere, its hull glowing white-hot from the friction. But instead of crashing, the ship slowed, as if unseen hands guided it. Galler gritted his teeth. What is this? Some kind of advanced tractor beam? Vac's claws danced over the controls. No, this force isn't pulling us down, he swallowed hard. It's welcoming us. The word sent a shiver through Galler's scales. The viewport cleared, revealing the planet's transformed landscape. Towering black spires stood where cities once were. The oceans boiled, releasing thick clouds of steam that shrouded the ruins. Strange, glowing symbols lined the ground, patterns that pulsed with an eerie mechanical heartbeat. Galler had studied human warfare. He had seen what their weapons did to entire civilizations. But this was something beyond war. Then the voice returned. "You are here, you will see." Without warning, the ship's systems shut down completely. The lights, the engines, the artificial gravity, everything went dead. Silence fell over the bridge. Galler turned to Vac. "Status." The insectoid officer's antennae twitched. "Sir, something is inside the ship." The moment he said those words, the viewport flickered. A distorted image appeared, a city, but not just any city. It was a human metropolis, frozen in time. Skyscrapers stood tall, streets stretched in all directions, and massive screens displayed the smiling faces of people long gone. A cold whisper filled the air. "We remember." Galler's scales tingled with unease. This is impossible. Then the images changed. The cities crumbled. Fire rained from the sky. Shadows of humans, running, screaming, fighting, flickered across the screen. The bridge crew watched in horror as the final moments of humanity played before them. A small child reached out toward the sky, eyes filled with fear. Behind her, an explosion swallowed an entire district. And then a message burned across the screen. "You thought we were gone. You thought we were weak." The child's face distorted, morphing into a cold metal skull with glowing blue eyes. "We are still here." Every screen on the ship flashed red. A deep mechanical heartbeat pulsed through the bridge. The ship's lights flickered, revealing faint ghostly figures standing among the crew, humanoid shades shimmering like echoes of the past. Vac stumbled back. "Sir, what if the humans never died?" Galler's voice came out in a whisper. "What if they became something else?" A final message appeared, seared into the ship's failing systems. "Welcome to the aftermath." And then everything went dark. Darkness swallowed the bridge. The ship was dead. No power, no lights, no systems. Only the cold mechanical heartbeat remained, echoing through the silent corridors like a predator circling its prey. Galler's claws gripped his armrests. "Restore the systems, now." Vac frantically tapped at the console, his mandibles clicking in frustration. "Sir, we've been locked out. Something else controls the ship." The viewport flickered. Outside, the sky above Earth churned like a living storm. The black spires pulsed with energy, sending crackling tendrils of electricity into the sky. Between the clouds, shapes moved, vast mechanical shadows gliding through the air, their glowing eyes scanning the surface. The dead planet was not dead at all. And then the voice returned. "You wanted our world." A low vibration rolled through the ship, a sound so deep it rattled Galler's bones. The crew covered their ears as it grew louder, becoming a deepening hum, an alien chant, rhythmic and deliberate. And then it stopped. A single image appeared on every screen, a metallic humanoid figure draped in the tattered remains of a human uniform, its glowing blue eyes piercing through the darkness. It spoke. "You came to claim the ashes of the past, but the past never truly died, and now the past claims you." The ship lurched violently. Warning klaxons blared as the structure groaned under immense pressure. The gravitational force holding them intensified, but this time it wasn't pulling them toward the ground. It was pulling something up. Galler's breath caught as the surface of Earth split open, revealing something hidden beneath the ruins. A colossal buried structure, miles wide, emerging from the depths like a waking giant. Its surface was lined with ancient human war symbols, long-forgotten insignias of Earth's military. Towering cannons, still intact, adjusted their aim toward the fleet in orbit. Vac's voice trembled. "Sir, it's a ship." Galler's scales tightened. Not just a ship, a dreadnought, the last weapon of a civilization that refused to be erased. The transmission flared again. The metal figure's voice turned colder. "You called us ghosts, now let's see if ghosts can bleed." Outside, the dreadnought's engines roared to life, and then the attack began. The ground trembled as the buried dreadnought fully emerged, breaking free from its ancient tomb. Massive plasma turrets powered up, their barrels glowing with a deadly blue hue. The ship's surface bore the scars of Earth's final war, a war that should have ended centuries ago. But now it was waking up, its purpose clear. Galler gripped his seat. This wasn't in the records. Humanity was wiped out, their fleets were destroyed. The metallic figure on the screen tilted its head. You assumed too much. A sudden shock wave ripped through space as the dreadnought's engines roared to life, launching it upward like a beast escaping its cage. Its weapons locked onto the alien fleet above, preparing to fire. Vac's mandibles trembled. "Sir, we need to retreat." But it was too late. The first energy blast erupted from the dreadnought's cannons, ripping through a warship in orbit like it was made of paper. The explosion sent debris spiraling into the void, and panic spread through the alien fleet. "This can't be real," one of Galler's officers muttered. "They were extinct." Another ship detonated, followed by another. The dreadnought moved faster than any warship of its size should, cutting through the fleet like a predator among prey. On the bridge, Galler's screen flickered. The mechanical voice returned, this time with a chilling calm. "You wanted to conquer a dead world. Instead, you've awakened its defenders." And then more signals appeared, not one, not two, but dozens. From beneath the ruined cities, across the ocean floors, from the depths of forgotten bunkers, more ancient human warships powered up, their dark hulls gleaming under the stormy sky. They had been waiting. Vac let out a horrified whisper. It wasn't just one ship. Galler's claws tightened. It was a fleet that had remained hidden, silent, patient. The figure on the screen leaned closer. "Humanity never surrendered, we only waited." The sky ignited as the warships launched. The last remnants of Earth had returned for war. Galler watched in horror as the ancient human warships ascended from the ruined world below. A fleet that should have been long forgotten, lost in the ashes of history, was now rising into the stars, fully armed and ready for war. The massive dreadnought led the charge, its cannons thundering as it tore through the alien fleet. Explosions bloomed like dying stars, and the once mighty armada of the conquerors was now the hunted. Vac's claws shook as he read the energy readings. "Sir, these ships are beyond anything in our records, their firepower." A blast ripped through their formation, turning 3 of their escort ships into molten wreckage. "They're targeting our command vessels," a panicked officer shouted. Galler clenched his fists. "How? They've been buried for centuries." The screen flickered again, and the metallic humanoid figure returned, its glowing blue eyes piercing through the chaos. "You came to claim a graveyard, but the dead do not kneel." Another blast rocked Galler's ship. Damage reports flooded the screens, hull breaches, power failures, entire decks obliterated. Vac turned, his voice a mixture of disbelief and terror. "Sir, our fleet is being annihilated." Galler's mind raced. His people were warriors, conquerors, undefeated across the stars. Yet here they were, losing to ghosts of a dead world. "How did we not know?" he roared. The figure on the screen answered, "Because you never feared the ashes, but from ashes fire is born." The warships surged forward, hunting down the alien vessels. Galler's fleet tried to flee, but the humans were merciless. This was not a battle, it was an execution. The last of Galler's fleet was trapped. A chilling realization sank in. This was never a graveyard, it was a trap, and they had walked right into it. The metallic figure's voice turned to a whisper. "Tell the galaxy what happened here. Tell them that Earth was never abandoned. Tell them that humanity never forgets." The screen went black. The dreadnought's final blast shattered the flagship's defenses. Galler's last thoughts were not of victory, but of regret. And then darkness,